I feel truly sorry for those evacuees who have had their lifestyles uprooted due to being forced to live in a stressful and inconvenient environment. These feelings of sorrow especially intensify when I watch the news programs dealing with these issues. It is my greatest desire to have the decontamination process completed as soon as possible so that the evacuated will be able to return to their homes. What we can do to contribute to this end is maintain stable plant conditions and reassure all citizens that everything is under control. Two weeks into the accident, while it was necessary to investigate the inside of the reactor building, physically entering the structure seemed impossible at that time. Hence, we used a robot to conduct an inspection, and then on May 9th, 9 members, including myself, entered the building. Although inside it was very dark, we were able to work without difficulty as we had verified the surroundings many times beforehand using the robot. A second and third team was sent in. They succeeded in opening the truck bay door. This allowed many workers to enter the building, where they restored the water injection facilities and installed the nitrogen injection facilities, which led to achieving a cold shutdown. As we created a to-do list for the management of the stabilization center, the immense number of tasks needed to be accomplished was brought home to us. Given the sustained and long-term effort needed, we first have to establish a proper organization and system and do everything we can to secure a safe working environment. The work rotation of employees in response to the exposure dosage restrictions is also an important issue. The water treatment facility began operations from last June. Our lack of operational experience hampered our ability to implement smooth operations and contributed to an increasingly anxious society while leading to our physical exhaustion. Currently, Kurion and Sari are the main pieces of equipment being used for these operations. This provides us enough capacity to process the wastewater generated. By using this equipment in alternate shifts, we are able to realize stable operations. It should be noted that even when operations stop, the water level of the building can be maintained at 3,000 millimeters above sea level. Therefore, we can afford to stop the operations of this facility for a certain amount of time if necessary. Regardless, we must properly maintain these facilities continually in case anything goes wrong. They have been in operation for almost a year now. We will operate this system in consideration of the system capacity, the chemistry change of water brought about by climate change, and the underground water inflow, etc. Furthermore, the chemical change of the processed water should be taken into consideration when making a decision concerning facility replacements. These 3 points are the current issues we face. When the accident occurred, the crucial issue we faced was securing a stable power supply. We considered installing power cables and gathering power panels for use, irrespective of how worn or torn they were, and had them connected to supply power to the power station. Last year was a constant battle with the forces of nature, kicked off by the giant tsunami that caused the accident. We had to establish protective measures against typhoons, machinery freezing, and lightning strikes. Preventing the equipment from malfunctioning due to freezing was an especially difficult challenge. People generally think that electrical equipment has nothing to do with water. However, for example, the pressure gauge carries water in its thin pipelines, which could freeze up in the winter. While we thought the instruments inside the building were safe, the cold wind flowing in through the opened truck bay door proved otherwise. Hence, we had to place a cover over the door entrance. We also had to consider the reliability of power supply. Multiplexing is the most basic method to achieve this. We have installed multiple backup transmission lines, switch gears, and cables on both the supply and load side so that power supply can be maintained even if one line goes out. This ensures a high degree of reliability. We needed to manage radiation exposure on an individual basis. The procurement of masks and protection gear was also important. We restored the system to manage the individual exposure level. For example, the number of installed whole body counters to measure internal exposure was increased from a few to 12. We have been able to stably procure radiation protection gear and provide them to the workers without too much interruption to their work. Furthermore, we are now able to periodically monitor radiation release amounts to the outside environment and observe their decrease. The strong bond that was established between the partner companies and manufacturers prior to the accident fuels their current dedication. We are truly grateful for their unwavering and unselfish cooperation. There are still many things we have to do in order to improve safety. From time to time, things happen that cause injuries. In addition, we are still dealing with facility malfunctions and water leakage. The workers are dealing with very harsh conditions where a certain amount of human error cannot be avoided. We would like to show our gratitude for those who are working in such an environment. I consider it my mission to do everything I can to secure their safety.